D-Mac, look, business as usual. Where do you see, where are your 30,000 foot as we drop the puck tonight? You'll be in the building, so for those that are going out, keep an eye out for D-Mac.
Yeah.
Where are you at, D-Mac?
No, I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's important always, the same old thing. Got to get off to a good start. I mean, you go breaking down right tonight's game. Pittsburgh had their home opener yesterday and got absolutely obliterated 6-0 by the Rangers. So they're going to be ready to play. To me, with this roster, you've improved defensively. You've improved in your goaltending. To me, it's about scoring, right? You got high expectations for Lucas Raymond to be a 40-goal guy. You know, DeBrincat started hot last year. He's got to maintain. To me, it's about where the goal is going to come from, right? So, to me, you're still in the same position fighting for the last, 2-3 playoff spots and stuff like this. To me, like, you got the exhibition season wasn't what I expected, but I've been in those before, right? Where you're sort of finding your way and you haven't clicked yet. So there's a lot of questions. What I think, though, is what we'll see this year, right? You had all the young guys, the Caspers, the Lombardis, all these guys that got sent down to Grand Rapids. They're going to play a lot of minutes, but it's close enough that you're going to see guys get opportunities. You're not going to wait around with the same roster if it doesn't work out. There's going to be, moves being made. So the difference this year is you're going to see a lot more guys in and out of the lineup, I think, and production. For me, I want to see your guy Johnny Bergeron get an opportunity, right? Spenny and the minutes. I like the way the team's sort of built defensively. They should be able to keep the puck out of the net a little more. Props to Ville Husso, who's earned the starting job, so that tells you something. So. To me, it's and again, Neil. To me, it's not. If we're talking you and I, last year, this year, and into next year, like this ain't the final product. There's a lot of contracts coming off the books and a lot of different guys. You know who your core is with the Larkins, the Siders, and the Raymonds. Just what else is going around it. So, the guys, the compers, the cops, these leaders and stuff like that, they got to be better. So we'll wait and see. I mean, you saw it. League started 2 nights ago. We're fully kicked. It should be an exciting. The fans are ready, right? The building will be ready. So that's not the problem. There's no selling that. It's just like got to go out and got to go out and prove it. Bottom line. But there's a lot of guys and a lot of opportunity, I think. So just because this is the starting day roster, don't expect that it to be the end of the season roster.
And D-Mac, I want to jump in with what you said there. You're going to see young guys worked in, and if it doesn't work, you're going to see guys move on. Like we're at that. And D-Mac, that you said that perfectly. I couldn't think of a better way to say that. Because now we are, and like, look, I'm not somebody that says that Steve Yzerman, because they missed the playoffs by a minute 30 seconds, forgot how to be a GM, and it's a trash rebuild and all that. Yeah, we've been over that 100 times. I'm not going back to that. But I will say this, D-Mac. Like, if you want, quote-unquote, accountability, I guess that's what some people are saying, we have reached that exit of the highway, D-Mac, where, as you just said, and this is where I like the setup that Yzerman has, because there is a flexibility financially moving forward. I believe that they will begin that process of seeing what is there in terms of younger guys. But as it sits right now, Woodward Sports chat thread, by the way, the great Gambino, they lost a lot of offense and have to hope for more progress from Raymond, more from Cap, but replacing if Bergeron isn't going after 15 games, they need to go to Casper.
What's the offense that they lost that they didn't
that was going to be my question.
They got Tarasenko. Like they brought back guys as well. I mean, they lost Perron.
Here's the issue that I see.
But Kane essentially takes Perron's role.
But here's the different play. The big miss that I'm looking for is what I think they've lost and what they lost in Perron and the Gostisbehere. You could say the offense on the back end of Gostisbehere being a left shot. No. Mm-hmm. It's the leadership in the locker room. That's what David Perron provided. He was that guy in there. So So that to me, that's sort of who are we going to see leading the charge? Obviously, like Larkin's going to lead in his way, but there's that secondary. He needs that help,
Yeah,
right? Like this is where like the Sherratts come in, and have to be that leader. And say what you want about Petrie, he's there for a reason, but there's leadership, on the front end. Can Tarasenko come in and use what he's two-time Stanley Cup champion? He's got the pedigree. Can he rub some of that shine off on the DeBrincats and the Raymonds and stuff like that? So, about opportunity, but that to me, it's more. It's not. You look at the roster, you look at the talent, and I like that third line: Rasmussen, Fisher, and Kopp. I mean, I like that third line, right? Because that's the shutdown line. I always said Rasmussen's sort of like your juice, but it's like leadership, and maybe. Excuse me. Maybe that's the guy that I'm going to look to, Michael Rasmussen, as being that leader. Bring the boys together like the glue, like we saw Perron do.
Yeah, I think the guys that need to step up in the leadership role are guys that have done it before, in Patrick Kane, Tarasenko, and Ben Sherratt. Like, obviously, Larkin's going to be the leader. He's your captain. But Patrick Kane and Tarasenko, to have guys up there that have won multiple Stanley Cups in this league is something that's going to be so important for the younger guys. And we saw Sherratt, Lucas Raymond went on a heater after Sherratt got in his face and roughed him up a little bit at practice. Like, just whoop someone's ass at practice every other week, Sherratt. Maybe they'll turn into a 30-goal scorer at the end of the year. But Big Ben's going to I was hard on Sherratt, really, a lot. Because he was our second-best defenseman down the stretch last year. He stepped it up big time. So if he could play the whole season like he did the last 2 months of the season last year, that'll be huge.
Woodward Sports chat thread. A lot of people are on it. I guess they're fired up for it. DNC ENT. It's pretty simple. This is pass fail. And DNC ENT, like, again, man, if you're talking about 90 seconds, I'm not going to say the rebuild shit. No way I'm going to say that. Because if you miss the playoffs by 90 seconds, I'm not going there. And you can call that soft all you want. I live in the real world. All right? I'm not a flannel Sam, like, linear thinker. I'm not a part of that extremist party, that Sam Flannel. Who doesn't care about your hockey family.
Right. Letting illegals on your hockey team.
Absolutely. let open border with Canada. Right. Like, anyone can just come across the Gordie Howe Bridge under Flannel's watch.
See, Brandon Katz in here playing, ifs and buts. The Flyers would have made the playoffs last year if not for the Hart situation, and the Red Wings would have made the playoffs last year if Larkin didn't get hurt.
Right.
So what are we doing here? If my grandmother has wheels, she would have been a bike.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Again, like, what's the goal? I don't know. If you were the Capitals, if it was us that got in instead of the Capitals, even though we won more games than they did. Sorry, we did. And we got cooked. Like, you're gonna feel 150%. We're doing it. We're going down that road again.
Don't do it, Neil.
It doesn't make sense. Okay, I just have to admit, it doesn't make sense to me. I can't make sense of it, so move on.